All right, welcome back to the Duff Pickem AllStars. I'm your host, the Orange Peanut. Above me is Icehouse. To the left, upper left, is the Commish. The guy wearing the Washington hat is Skinnnns. We are here to offer you advice for your Pick'em league, your fantasy football leagues, things that hopefully will help you win and not lose money by making intelligent decisions. Want to start off really quickly. Today is November 5th, 2024. Yesterday is Devin Hester's birthday, famous Chicago return punter, legendary man. Let's all wish Devin Hester a quick happy birthday before we talk about what happened last week. Happy birthday, Devin Hester. Last week.
Happy birthday, 23.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Devin. You share it with my father.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, Joe's dad. What's his
happy
number?
Birthday, Joe's dad.
78 years old.
Oh. 78.
Tell him to subscribe.
Yeah. That's
Hey, Dad, you know how you don't like technology? Yeah, why don't you go ahead and subscribe to this thing?
Man.
Yeah, that'll help him out. Last week was interesting. Did you guys have any? Let's start with Skinnnns. Did you have any one particular game you thought that was interesting, wild?
Yeah, you know what? And I remember watching the games, and I thought this is the game I'm going to bring up on Tuesday when we talk. And now I don't remember what it was, but let me look through them real quick. Great podcasting here.
Don't worry, it'll get edited out.
Okay, good.
No,
sure. Yeah.
Editor.
Well, I didn't get to watch much of Sunday's games at all, period. So it had to be Minnesota and Indies. Oh, and the Rams and Seattle too. Both those teams did. I guessed them correctly, but they did not go all the way I thought they were going to. I didn't think Joe Flacco would look like a bag of poop. And I expected Seattle to, I guess they kind of did well. I'll talk about a little bit about that later, but I expected Seattle to show better. And they did. They got lots of yards. They just had a lot of red zone turnovers. Yeah. So, I mean, they should have probably beat the Rams that game. So I was expecting the Rams to falter a little more. And I was expecting Indy to show a little better against Minnesota, but that wasn't nearly the case. So both those Sunday night games or late Sundays were good. Now I don't know whether to trust old man Flacco or what I'm doing with him now.
I think there's a lot of people sort of in that boat as of right now. Icehouse, what about you? Any game was wild or not? You watch anything interesting?
I didn't have a lot of time to watch the games this weekend, but yeah, I thought Flacco would have done better. I was kind of shocked to see him just fall on his face. But it is what it is.
Disappointed Indy fans all the way across the board. Commish, what about you? Any games wild? Yes or no?
The ending to that, well, not the ending, but the ending to regulation in that Tennessee Titans New England Patriots game where Drake May is like all day. All day running around. And what's really obnoxious is I watched that replay like twice. And then today I was scrolling through and somebody goes, what is number 74 doing? So if you go back and watch that replay, watch number 74. They don't engage. He's an offensive lineman for the Patriots. He does not engage a single defender like the entire time.
I saw that.
He is just standing around.
No. In his defense, Joe, they had Jeff Saturday on PTI to like kind of asking him, was like, what was he doing?
Now, I know what he was doing, but he was just, it was interesting to me to watch him stand there and not move from his position.
Yeah.
Like, it did not matter what the quarterback was doing. He just stood there like, I'm not going anywhere. It was just weird to see.
It was very
odd. I guess, that just makes it even more impressive that Drake May was able to dick around for, 13 seconds or something. Meanwhile, one offensive lineman is completely doing nothing. It's just like, wow. Impressive.
But
You're down
yeah.
one offensive lineman, and you still let the man run around like
That was the game. Now that Joe mentioned it, thank you. That was the game I was going to bring up because I was driving home from drill and I had the red zone on for my hour-plus drive. And that was the only game that had anything interesting going on at the end of those games of the noon games for the red zone. So they're not showing the blowouts. They're only showing, like Scott Hansen was like, all right, we're kind of looking to find any games that have any sort of relevance of being close. So here's the game we're going to bring you guys.
Yeah.
And then they did, and it actually ended up being a really good game between two really crappy teams.
Yeah. Yeah, you get those
That's
every
got to be
once
a
in a
fun
while.
radio call, man. Just
Yeah,
like,
really.
and he's running around for like,
He's looking left. He's looking right. He's looking left. He's looking right. He's looking everywhere.
He doesn't know what the hell he's doing anymore. No one knows what's going on. Holy shit.
I don't know what else to say. Everybody's covered and everybody's open.
Yeah. Yeah, those were good games. A few points in the games. The Browns game was poopy. The Chargers looked good. I ran into some Chargers fans on Saturday coming back from the Cleveland Monsters AHL game, and I was like, oh, they do exist. Stan's had a few of them in there. They may have been those people. Bears Cardinals, that was hard to listen to. It wasn't Don. The Moore play where he runs out, Caleb is scrambling for his life, trying to make a play, and Moore just kind of runs out of bounds, probably thinking, oh, it's been 5 seconds. Play is probably over, but hey.
No, he came up limp. Everybody's blowing that out of proportion. He was hurt. He went out of bounds, so he couldn't have touched the ball anyway. And secondly, he was clearly limping to the sideline.
I did not know that. Oh, I'm glad
he was not going to stay out there and risk getting injured further.
That was social media that blew it out for me because I heard it. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear that actually happen on the radio. But I did see the after effects with there. But that makes sense. The fun game that we had out here was the Lions-Packers game. One, it was in the rain. Like, I love outdoor weather games when you have like that bad of weather happening. Two, the Lions just beat the snot out of the Packers. Like, just walloped them. And it was that the Lions look like a Super Bowl ready team. So good on them for that. All right. Let's talk about what happened with our pick'ems last week, as the Commish probably has some very good information about what happened last week. How good were we, Commish?
Well, some of us were really good. Some of us weren't. Tommy only had 3 wrong picks. None of them were over double digits. In fact, he only got his 6, his 3, and his 1 wrong. So he amassed 110 points on the week, followed by Stan with 86, followed by Eric with 83, followed by JV with 78, followed by Boss with 61, me with 54, and Groady bringing up the rear with 53 points.
Wow.
I said it during last week about the Bears not winning on the road on Sundays, and I should have changed my pick to Arizona.
Yeah.
Would have scored me 15 points, and I would have won the week with 69 points. As far as picks go, unfortunately, Dallas's road streak of winning this season is over, as they lost to Atlanta, and it burned me, as I was the only one that had Dallas. We all had Buffalo except for Tommy, who had Miami. We all got Washington right. We all got Chicago wrong. Eric was the only one who got Arizona right in that one. Boss was the only one that thought Green Bay stood a chance against Detroit. We all got the Rams right. All of us got all of us had Minnesota except for Tommy, who had Indianapolis, and all of us had Tampa Bay except for Groady, who had Kansas City.
Yeah, both of them 1-point losses, so those are good.
Yeah.
Is that the highest point total on a week? I'd like to say that it is.
I have no idea. This season it is, that's for sure.
That's really good.
Last year, Tommy had 15 out of 16 last year, didn't he?
I was saying Groady got 111 points earlier this year, so it is not even the highest point this season.
Cool. Wow.
Well, to my credit, I did get max points on Tampa Bay, correct?
You did.
AC once again blew the fucking spread, even though it looked like it should have been an absolute blow. Like, there's no reason they shouldn't cream them by more than 9 points.
Right.
Well, that's why
Yet,
I was shocked to see that
they
Kevin
played
had. I mean,
down.
granted, 1 point, but Groady had Kansas City. That was a bit shocking.
Yeah. Yeah. I also want to just point out it's the possible third week in a row that max points on Miles Jack is paid off. There's a train. Not
Yeah,
very
it's
good.
paid off, but you're still in second to last place.
Yeah, I have to make up, and overall, it has not paid off. I've just gotten lucky the past at least.
I
Couple
say
of weeks.
Eric's taking a commanding lead with 661, followed by Groady with 615, followed by me with 597, Stan with 573, Tommy with 561 as he's leapfrogged both Boss and you. You follow up him with 545, and Boss is bringing up dead last with 538.
Wow. Yeah.
Terrible.
I've got the worst wing loss record.
538. Isn't that that's a thing for tonight, right?
Is that a thing?
Isn't that like an election thing? 538.
Oh, the total electoral votes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't know what it is.
Eric has, I've noticed a strategy with Eric and his picking, because occasionally Eric's main strategy is just pick them in order, like 1 point on the first team, 2 points on the second team. But one of the things I definitely notice Eric doing is I don't think he picks Chicago
Missing
very
the
often.
Thursday pick?
Well, he did miss the Thursday pick, but I don't think he ever picks Chicago. I think he always puts points on the other team and not Chicago. So
That's the boss strategy. I will hedge the other side. So if one side comes out, I will win. I'll still be happy.
yeah.
According to my notes from last year, Tommy, I don't know if this is because he had 15 out of 16 last year, or was that 2 seasons ago?
I'd like to say
Because last year Tommy's
last
best week was 110. Stan, your best week was week 18. You had 117.
Damn.
Maybe Tommy had maybe it was a big bye week, so he had like 11 out of 12 or something like that. But
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah, he did have one really insane week. He had either no losses or one. But yeah.
Did you have an over/under or favorites count, Commish?
Oh yeah, favorites 10-5 this week, bringing the season total 76 to 60 with 2 pushes.
Oh, I have a note on here that Boss had a lot of favorites as of recently with it. So interesting strategy.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, was it? Oh, you're right. It is.
Yeah, that wasn't this week. It was 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it didn't really do me much good.
No, because it was 8-7 2 weeks ago, 7-9 last week, and 10-5 this current week that we're talking about.
Of course.
So, yeah, finally.
There's always that strategy again.
After you stopped, probably.
Sippy, you're not here. The win is actually really for you. So we cheers to you, and also our de facto winner for the week who is here with us, Skinnnns. Way to go, Skinnnns. Way to
you can thank these guys.
Thank the Commanders for that. Did you get your max points? You did get your max points with the Commanders. Oh, look at that. Yeah, all got the Washington pick right. Really good. Okay, so Skinnnns, since Sippy is not here, I didn't hear back from him at all. You're gonna talk about the first game. We've got the Miami Dolphins going all the way across the United States to go play the Rams. Is that a Monday night game?
Monday night, 7:15, in the only legitimate time zone. We got these guys traveling all the way to LA from Miami. That's just a short trip across the pond. Last couple games, let's see. Last 2 games, Dolphins have lost to the Cardinals and the Bills. I think they were both by 1 point. They were both last second. But at least the Dolphins are finally putting up.
Yeah.
They've won 3 of their last 4 road games, and their ground game is averaging 134 yards per contest. And defensively, Miami is allowing 23.5 points per game and 303 yards per game. Conversely, the Rams, their ground game is 97 yards per game. And defensively, they're allowing 24.3 points per game and 360 yards. So this is one of the things digging into this game. I was actually surprised, including how with Tua missing. I was actually surprised how good on paper Miami's defense actually was. I was expecting to see a lot worse stats than I thought. So they're giving up their defense is giving up one less point per game, and about 55 yards less points per game than the Rams. So needless to say, you do a lot of these team stats, the Dolphins are gonna be skewed because Tua was out for a lot of that. But if you look at the Rams, points scored per game, they're 21st. Total yards, they're 18th. Passing yards, they're 9th. Rushing yards, 26th. And defensively, Rams wise, they are bottom half to even bottom 3/4 of the league, which is where I thought the Dolphins would also be. And they're actually not that bad. They've also won 5 of their last 6 games as underdogs in Carolina. And the Rams have failed to cover the spread in 7 of their last 8 games against AFC opponents. And as far as the last 5 November games for the Dolphins, they've won the first half in each of their last 5. So I think, and a lot of that going towards, we all saw how the Rams beat Seattle. So public sentiment is with the Rams this week. They've won 3 in a row. But I think a lot of that's a bit different. The Rams came into the season, they were 1-4 entering their Week 6 bye. Since then, they've been 3-0 with their overtime win in Seattle. But a lot of that Seattle game, the Rams picked off Geno 3 times, twice in the red zone, one of them being returned for a pick 6. And so, yeah, I think they were pretty lucky to escape Seattle with a win there.
I would agree.
Yeah, Seahawks should have done a lot better. I think Miami's offense is a lot better, combined with what I kind of read about their defense this weekend. I'm thinking things are pretty good. Starting offensive tackle, Rob Havenstein for the Rams. He injured his ankle. He's going to be out this week. Not like the Dolphins have a great defensive front, but overall they've been okay defensively. So I think that's just one more thing that's helping me push it towards the Dolphins taking points. The only thing I don't like is them traveling across the country, but I do like finishing up the week with 11 points on the Dolphins.
11 points on the Dolphins for that. All really good stats. I like hearing names. That's something I personally don't always have a very easy time remembering, the names of players, especially like offensive linemen, offensive tackles being an important part of the game. I also like finishing the week kind of strong. But I'm going to contrare against you. I think the Los Angeles Rams, I'm not going to contrare. I'm just going to go on the other side here. I think the Los Angeles Rams have looked good as of recently. And so I'm going to go. I'm too nervous that if Miami loses Tua, that they're just going to sink back to their old ways. And man, all it's going to take is, one knock on the head for that. So 12 points on the Rams for me. Icehouse.
I am also going to ram it down Stan's throat for 7 points.
Please don't.
Ram it right down the throat. Jeez. Open up wide.
John's going big with 12. I only, like 7. All right.
There you go. Commish, any ramming for you?
Yeah, I've also got 12 points on this game going towards the Rams. I mean, it's an East Coast to West Coast Monday night game. Miami's going to be thinking it's 10:15 at night when they start this game. So by the time it's over, it's after midnight in their eyes.
Yeah, be time to go out to a party and do a line of something. I don't know.
No, they're going to be
Okay.
exhausted.
Yeah, I think they will. I think you're absolutely right. Okay. I've got Cincinnati, Baltimore, which is going to be the game. You ever seen divers that have to hold their breath before they go underwater? They take a bunch of deep breaths. That's what we have to do for all the enjoyment we need to get out of this game, because the game that immediately follows that on Sunday morning is the Giants game against Carolina in Germany. And I just want to make a quick mention of that game because several people I think know this. I think Groady mentioned this actually earlier. The Giants uniforms for that game, which I'm going to put here in the video as of right now, at least so that there is a picture of this. These look, I do not like the way these look personally. They have like a blue stripe with a white number, a red helmet with like red claw marks on a blue helmet. I don't know. They're throwback uniforms, I guess, from a very early stage of the Giants. You're going over to Europe to look like that and then play against. This is going to be two poopy teams playing against each other. It's going to be a fart free for all, is what it's going to be. But anyway, so there'll be a better game on Thursday for Cincinnati, Baltimore. This game excites me for a number of reasons. Baltimore is the main reason. They're just outstanding in every category you can possibly think of. They are first in yards per game. They are first in points scored per game. They are leagues ahead of everybody. I mean, to put this simply, the Ravens, on average, get about 450 yards per game. That's eons ahead of most other teams with that. So, especially against a Bengals defense, which is not exactly the most stalwart in the world. The Bengals typically allow about 25 points per game, so they are not very high up on that list. But as are Baltimore. So these two teams played each other earlier. It was a very high-scoring game. Baltimore won it in overtime, ultimately giving them the first win against their division. And I would say a division rival. These are two teams that very often have fights in some way, shape, and form. These are two teams that don't like each other. The Ravens just look outstanding. And then there's the Bengals, which also legitimately look outstanding. There's one thing that the Ravens are not doing very well. It's blocking running backs. And so their rush defense has not been very good. And the Bengals, in addition to Chase Brown, just acquired Khalil Herbert off the Bears. So whether or not he starts this weekend, it's an intelligent move on the Bengals in terms of being able to acquire somebody to help give Chase Brown a break, who has clearly shown that he's got what it takes to do what it needs to be done. So this is kind of a tough one. I like both of these teams in all seriousness. 66% of people are going for the Ravens. It's a 6.5 point spread in Baltimore. And Baltimore is traditionally a tough stadium to play in. Weather's going to be fair for the game for this. So I would love to be able to support Cincinnati, but Baltimore just looks way, way too good. So I'm going to start off my week with 10 points on Let's Go, or the core, Baltimore. Icehouse.
I have 4 on Cincy.
4.
I think they keep close enough. 6.5, that's fine.
This really could honestly go either way. I think Cincy could do it too. Yeah. Commish.
Yeah, I got 6 points on Cincinnati.
6 points on Cincy. And Skinnnns.
Yeah, they've already played once this year in Cincy, and it was a 3-point game in the Ravens' favor. I think Cincy minus T. Higgins, it's not great, but I think divisional matchup. I'm still gonna go with Cincy. I'm gonna put 6 on these guys.
6 on Cincy for that. All good picks.
7. Make it 7. Sorry.
Make it 7.
Big difference. Big difference.
No, it's more confidence. I think
I
that's
was going to
awesome.
say they held Derrick Henry in check that entire game until I believe it was the fourth quarter or overtime, in which he reeled off a 51-yard run. Otherwise, they held him to 14 rushes for 41 yards.
Yeah, they are one of the only teams that has held Derrick Henry in check, which that is not. It doesn't look like it's an easy feat, given that the fact that he looks like a steaming locomotive when he's rushing, especially doing some of his his big rushes towards in the red zone. It's gonna be a fun. I think that'll be a fun game though to be able to catch. I'm glad that's the game, and I will skip the Giants game likely. I might catch it just to see how bad the jerseys look. Icehouse, you're here to talk about Kansas City going. Are they going to or hosting the Mile High Denver Broncos? Where are they here? They are. Nope, Broncos are going to Kansas City. What do you know?
I didn't have any time to look into this game. Sorry, guys.
Oh, damn.
But I do know one thing. It's a high spread, so obviously we can't take Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
So next points on Denver. Duh.
What's that?
All you need to know. Kansas City, it doesn't matter who they're playing. It's like, oh, you got a 9.5 spread? Not a chance in hell.
That's fair.
They're not going to blow out anybody.
There are more people picking Kansas City to win right now, 56% of people. So that's an interesting one. Max points
people are
is
starting to learn.
14 or 15?
I got 14 as my max. If you can give me 15, I'll take it.
No, I just didn't click on it there. Commish.
Oh, I mean, yeah, people are learning. Only 45% of people took Kansas City last night.
It's like,
and that was a
really,
9-point spread. I got to imagine that number is going to come down as the week goes on and people start changing to Denver because I have it's the largest spread, so I have 1 point on the game. I'm going Denver's route. I think Denver's defense has been pretty outstanding. While the Chiefs' defense has been really great, and has sort of bailed out Patrick Mahomes in that just not abysmal offense, but struggling offense for sure. I just don't think I don't think they're going to win by 10.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, so 14 and a 1 on Denver for this. Up to you, Skinnnns.
I'm really thinking this could be the game the Chiefs win by 10 or more. So I'm going to put 4 on the Chiefs.
4 on the Chiefs. He joins the 56% of people. I will be staying with the Denver pick. I don't think the Denver defense looks good, but the Chiefs just don't cover that spread too often. So I will counter your 4 with a 4 on Denver for myself.
Throw another 4 in there.
A lot of 4s in this one here, yeah. Commish.
It's also in that 7.5 to 10-point range of spread, and on the season so far, those are 6 for 18 or 33%.
Oh, it's worthwhile
for the underdog.
No, for the favorite. So the underdog has been successful 12 out of 18 times, or 67%.
Got it.
So
that's a very good reason to look at that. Okay, yeah, good. Commish, you've got Buffalo against going over to Indy. Play against the Flacco
Buffalo
squad.
At Indianapolis. Well, they've met each other a grand total of 72 times. Buffalo currently leads the series 38-33 as they've had one tie. Wow. That's impressive. Let's see, what is that? 2, 4, 6. Buffalo is currently riding a 6-game losing streak in Indianapolis.
Oh no!
The last time Buffalo won in Indy was October 11th, 1998, a 31-24 win. Otherwise, they've lost. The last time they were in Indy was in 2018. They lost 37-5. Which is quite the great score to get because you got a safety and a field goal. Josh Allen, in his short tenure, he's only played them one time, and it was in Buffalo, and he lost. As he's 0 for 1 against the Colts in his career. On the season, You're looking at two teams that, John, you were wrong, by the way. Baltimore's second in points scored.
Oh, second in points
Uh,
scored? Oh.
yeah. Buffalo is fourth, and Indianapolis is 22nd.
Well, they are second. Sorry, I thought that was first. Yeah.
The Indianapolis Colts are dead last in time of possession with 25 minutes and 41 seconds. They're almost dead last in rushing yards against per game, giving up almost $150. All signs are pointing towards Buffalo should, at the very least, win this game. It's a 4-point spread, and given how badly Minnesota, and I'm not to take anything away from Minnesota and the team they've put together and how well they do, but if Minnesota's going to run with it and pretty well handle Indianapolis, I think Buffalo snaps their losing streak in Indy, and they win by more than 4. I got 8 points on Buffalo.
8 points on Buffalo. Love the stats. Appreciate the correction for that because you're right. And yeah, that's good stuff. So 8 points, Buffalo. Up the Skinnnns, your rebuttal.
I like Jonathan Taylor in this game. I think he's going to have a day. He's going to help take some pressure off of Flacco this week. It's a divisional game. They usually play each other tight. It's at home
They're
for
not
Indy.
in the same division.
I'm sorry. You're right.
They're both
I don't know
AFC.
why I thought that, but for some reason I thought these two always play each other tough. But at any rate, I do like Jonathan Taylor going against the Bills front seven this week. The line has shifted even a little bit more towards the Colts as well, which is another good sign that Vegas thinks the Colts are going to cover. So started off 4.5 and moved down to 4. Certainly won't get to 3, but it's moving in the right direction, which makes me think there's a lot of early sharp money coming on Indy. So I'm going to put 8 on the Colts.
8 on the Colts. So 8 on Buffalo, 8 on the Colts. Question that for the Commish, because you've got a very good memory. You mentioned that the last time they won, the Buffalo Bills won in Indianapolis was October 11th, 1998. Can you name the possible quarterback that was playing for Buffalo at that time that they won? Or can you guess if you don't know?
1998?
1998 in Buffalo. Or for Buffalo.
No, I don't think I have that good of a memory for Buffalo quarterbacks.
Okay. Any guesses?
I know it wasn't Jim Kelly.
Was Bledsoe playing at the time?
Give you a hint, it's a woodwind instrument.
Oh, Flutie?
It's Flutie. Yeah.
Wow.
Doug Flutie won that game.
All right.
That was
There's a blast from the past.
no kidding.
Yeah.
I had to bring that one up there. Yeah, I think I like Flacco. I think the rest of Indy needs some work. 9 points on the Let's Go Buffalo train for the Peanut Icehouse.
10 points. Let's go, Buffalo.
7 points. Let's go Buffalo. And the Skinns' cheese 8 stands alone for that. But we can still raise our glasses again to Skinns with his win over last week, de facto win over last week. Well, cheers to Sippy as well. We miss you here. Skinns, you're here to talk about Washington versus Pittsburgh, which looks like Pittsburgh is going to go play in Washington for this. What do you know?
Well, we got a 12 o'clock game in Washington at, I think, Northeast Field is the new name for it. Northeast, Northwest, something or others.
What is it?
Something. It's not FedEx Field anymore. We know that. I know that.
Money well spent.
Yes.
See here.
But yeah, coincidentally, the Steelers and the Commanders, both of their last games were against the Giants. The Steelers had a bye last week, and then the week before that, they played the Giants. And the Commanders last week played the Giants. The Steelers beat the Giants 26-18. And the Commanders beat the Giants 27-22. Steelers are 6-2 this year. They outgained New York by a total of about 30 yards. They lost the turnover battle 2-1, and they went 6 for 13 on third down that game. But Russell Wilson threw for 278 yards and a touchdown, while Najee rushed for 114. When the Commanders played the Giants last week, they outgained the Giants by about 30 yards just as well, but they did win that turnover battle 1-0, and they went 5 for 12 on third down. Prior to that, the Commanders beat Chicago by 3 and Carolina by 23. And then before that, the Steelers defeated the Jets 37-15, and they beat the Raiders 32-13. A recurring theme for the Steelers defense this year is they are good. They are keeping teams under 20 points very consistently.
Yeah.
I think they're only giving up about 13 points per game.
They've been a challenge for just about everyone they've faced.
Yes. I think their only blemish is did they play? Oh, off the top of my head, I think it was the Ravens, where it wasn't that close of a game.
I don't think it was the Ravens. No, it was Vegas.
Oh, of all teams.
Was it? Oh no, it wasn't Vegas. Who was it?
No,
they beat Vegas.
Yeah,
they beat. Who was it?
They did. Yeah, they gave up 27 to the Colts, though. Yeah, that was probably their blemish.
Oh.
And lost to the Cowboys. Gave up 20 to them. But more or less, the Steelers are giving up points per game. They are giving up. It's about 13 points per game.
They gave up 27 to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lost.
Commanders have scored 263 points this year, and the Steelers have only allowed 119. So this is one of your cases of unstoppable force versus immovable object.
Yeah.
Which I never thought I'd say about the Commanders, but here I am.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
It's needless to say, that Steelers defense is doing pretty freaking awesome. They've won 4 of their last 5 games as underdogs. And on top of that, the Commanders have lost 7 of their last 8 against AFC opponents that have been on a winning streak, and the Steelers are on a winning streak. I do want to note some injuries. There's some depth positions that the Steelers are getting back. They're getting their outside linebacker, Nick Herbig. He's coming back. Running back Cordarrelle Patterson should be back. And their rookie center, Zach Frazier, he's also expected to return. So that's a big part of the line for Russell Wilson. The only injury note for the Commanders this week, Brian Robinson sat out against the Giants last week, so he should be back. But outside of that, other reasons for the Steelers that I gave you earlier, that they won 4 of the last 5 as underdogs, which they are underdogs this week by, was it 3.5 now? Nope, down to 2.5.
Yeah.
The Commanders have failed to cover the spread in each of their last 6 games at Northwest Stadium following a division game that they did against the Giants this week. And then the Steelers have also covered the spread in each of their last 5 Sunday games played on the East Coast. The Steelers have won the first half in 8 of their last 9 games against the Commanders. And just another sad note for why the Steelers will cover this spread is the Commanders have lost the first quarter in 4 of their last 5 home games when they play AFC opponents.
Oh,
Yes, the problem is that everything. If you're looking at why the Steelers will beat the Commanders, it is lining up according to a lot of historical Vegas spreads. None of these are looking good for the Commanders, so I don't think it's good. It's not looking great. The only thing I can do is put max points on Washington.
You knew it was coming. Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah, all right. So max points on Washington. I actually think a lot of what you brought up is really good, and I love the fact that you brought up an unstoppable force that the Washington Commanders are meets an immovable object. The Pittsburgh defense is considered an elite defense. Although I think in fantasy football, I don't think I would play them this week. One thing that Washington has looked in every respect has been fun. They have just looked like a team that is clicking, which is so odd to say. What a turnaround from years past where it was just a disaster of a team, and now all of a sudden they're winning games and they look great doing it. Honestly, all the way around with it. One of the players I picked up on my own fantasy football team, Austin Eckler, who I was just like, oh, you're just going to kind of be bouncing around in the background, but even he's managed to look good for the Commanders. So it's been fun to watch. This is a tough one for me because 63% of people are going for Washington. Pittsburgh is just so well managed. Like, they can take anybody, it seems, and turn them into a better player than wherever it was that they came from. I credit a lot of that to Mike Tomlin and the overall management style that the Steelers use. I thought I looked up a stat the other day that the Steelers are one of the lower paying salaried teams in the NFL. I thought I saw something about that. That might have been the Pirates as well. But overall, I think that, like, hey, you got to try hard to earn that money, you know? So I think that's good. Either way, though, I think I'm going to join Skinnnns, and I'm going to put a nice lucky 7 on the Washington Commanders. Icehouse.
I got 2 points on Washington. I'll drop the deuce.
Drops his deuce on Washington. Did he wash his hands? Chance to be a contrarian, Commish.
I am 13 points on Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin is 12-4 after a bye week.
Oh, that is good.
Damn.
That does make sense too. They know how to rest their players. That's good stuff. All right. Go back up to the top of the list. Time for quick picks. Quick picks. Oh, Skinnnns, you got the Giants-Carolina game.
This might be the last game that Daniel Jones starts for the season.
In Germany? Yeah.
He has an injury clause where if he gets injured, then the rest of his contract is guaranteed. So,
smart man.
Needless to say, the Giants will be starting him, but he may be benched. It obviously has no bearing on the game this week, but he may be benched the rest of the season.
Drew Lock
just for
and
the
Tommy
Giants
DeVito.
to be able to have to be able to want to bench him for the rest of the season. Needless to say, Carolina, I don't know why I have a soft spot for them. I always have a soft spot for them. And it's bit me in the butt about 5 out of the 7 times this year I've picked them, but I think I'm going to do it. I think maybe the Giants know too. I think they're going to stop trying. I think Carolina wants to keep trying though. So give me 9. This is the Patriots. What was the Patriots game last week? Patriots and who?
Oh, Patriots.
Tennessee Titans.
And Titans. Yeah, this is the Patriots Titans game that will end up being good. And it will be Carolina covering the spread in the fourth quarter. So give me 9 on Carolina. I'm not putting a 1 or a 2 on it like I did on the Patriots last week.
Well, I will be putting a deuce on it myself. I'm dropping a deuce on the Giants. 1 for their jerseys. 2, I think the ending of this game is going to be a score of like 5-8 or something like that. It's going to be one of those games.
Carolina covers.
Yeah, right. Icehouse.
I have number 3 diarrhea on the Giants.
Oh God, it's poop on the Giants all over the place. And then Commish.
I got 9 points on Carolina because I saw something today. Now, mind you, they're playing in Germany. Which, by the way, if you're asking what did Germany do to deserve this game, we all know what they did. But the most astounding stat you will hear for the rest of the season. Would you care to guess how many Super Bowls Kansas City won between Daniel Jones throwing home touchdown passes?
Oh.
Wow!
By the way, is
Kansas
this
City.
the real stat?
Well, it's either
Kansas City
2 or
won
3.
two.
It's got to be.
I was say Kansas City won back-to-back Super Bowls before Daniel Jones threw his second pass at home, second TD
Wow.
pass at home.
Wow.
Now, mind you, he was injured, but still, like that's how bad he's been. I have no faith in that man. I'm sorry. 9 points on Carolina. Last year, 4 out of the 5 games, the favorite was the correct pick overseas. This is game number 5 overseas. It's been 4 for 4 so far this year for favorites overseas. It's time for the underdog to get its win.
Yeah, you know what? I'm
All right,
shifting
you know
my
what?
poop.
I'm
I'm putting my
going
poop to Carolina. Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, those should be. I'll put my diarrhea on Carolina.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm doing the same. I'm going. I did not know that it was that bad. God, New York. It's been 6 years of this. New York.
The other thing I saw today about New York, since they've drafted Daniel Jones and he's struggled, they have not drafted another quarterback. Even when they had Eli Manning, they drafted a quarterback, like not high, but at some point during the draft, and kind of gave him an incentive to, compete and do better. They have not done that for Daniel Jones, and the result is, well, not great.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. In terms of no, they got this guy Tommy DeVito. I guess is the other rookie-ish backup because Drew Lock's on there as well. But I think Drew Lock is like having Trevor Siemian as your backup. Like, well, go you. Oh my God, yeah, that's New York. It's been 6 years. How much beatings do you need? Okay, anyway, I've got Chicago hosting New England. This is the game. My brother asked me a question. He was like, John. And by the way, I forgot to get his picture of him with who signed his jersey? What was it? Dane
Sanzenbacher.
Sanzenbacher signed his jersey. You're going on here, Pete, at some point with that picture. I just gotta download it from off the interwebs. He asked me, what would you do if you were the Bears GM? I was like, you got to get your momentum back. Seems like the last game against Arizona, the Bears just have slumped from that amazing or awful, depending on your side of the fence, Hail Mary throw that took the Bears win back in Washington for that. I'm still upset with that, but I've forgotten it. I've goldfished, it's totally goldfish. Like, let's move on. Should have beaten Arizona. Now it's time to beat the New England Patriots at home. It's time to get the momentum back so we can start to win. And I think the Bears are going to do this at home. I'm going to put a solid 8 on Chicago Bears for this. Yeah. Icehouse.
Yeah, 8 sounds about right. Middle of the way, I'm cool with that. I'm with you. 8 on the Bears.
8 on the Bears. Commish.
Yeah, the Hail Mary didn't break them. The bye week did. I got 3 points on New England.
3 points.
That defense is atrocious.
Yeah, needs some work. Where was it? It's broken. Put some glue or some duct tape or something.
I mean, albeit during the course of the season, the Bears are 4-1 against the spread as the favorite, but I'm taking New England.
There. All right. And Skinnnns?
I really want to look at Montez Sweat for Week 10. I want to see if he's going to play. I think he will play. One player is usually not someone who's going to decide whether I pick one team or another, but the Bears certainly missed him last week when he didn't play. And it might be just enough to keep New England within a touchdown. So I am going to take New England. I'm gonna put. Ooh, I either got really low ones or really high ones. Yeah, I want the middle. I got a 6. I'm gonna put my 6. No, I'm gonna put my 10.
You know, put
New
it
England.
10. Oh,
yeah, they gave me an enjoyable ride home last week. So maybe the Patriots will give me another. And well, it won't be enjoyable, but a nice close game to watch this week. So
even though it's November, he's got faith in May. What a guy.
Give yourself 5.
Icehouse,
Wow.
you got
Take 5 away.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Boo. Icehouse, you've got Atlanta hosting God, whatever they can cobble together in New Orleans. Do they have a coach? Oh no, that's Vegas.
New Orleans is hosting Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me that dozen on Atlanta.
Dozen on Atlanta. Commish.
I got 11 on Atlanta. New Orleans traded away Marshawn Lattimore to the Commanders.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave up 3 picks for that guy, so I hope it's worth it.
Oh wow.
We got one back. We gave up a 3rd, 4th, and 6th. We got a 5th back. So
okay. Make up for that. Where it is. Skinnnns.
Give me Atlanta for 12.
Atlanta for 12. I'm gonna do $1 yo on Atlanta myself. Don't know what else. I don't know what else New Orleans has in their tank. Poor Kamara. He's gonna be out there every single play. It's gonna be the Kamara show.
Yeah, Taysom Hill, come on.
Taysom. Yeah, I forgot about Taysom Hill. Although he's still he got injured earlier. I don't know here. All right, Commish, you've got San Francisco going to at home with Baker.
Well, it should be an interesting matchup, considering Christian McCaffrey is set to return, which doesn't really have a lot of people excited, but I got 5 points on Tampa, and I think it depends on if he's going to be back and what his workload's going to be like.
5 points Tampa. Skinnnns.
Get about 10-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to be 86 degrees at the time of the game. We all know I like Tampa. We'll keep it short. They kept it close. I think they can keep it close. They're down those receivers, but they're not down the worst. I mean, they're still able to put up points. So give me 6 on Tampa.
6 on Tampa. I'm going to join you. 6 on Tampa. I know the MVP is going to be, whoever the quarterback is that wins the Super Bowl, but MVP should go to Baker Mayfield for sure for that. So I've got 6 on Tampa. Icehouse, chance to be contrarian.
Yeah, 1 point on San Fran.
Hey, 1 point on San Fran. Throwaway point. Back up to Skinnnns. You've got Minnesota going to sunny Florida to play Miles Jack.
Minnesota's defense did not show up as good last week. Well, I mean, they showed up pretty decent, but I pictured them to do a lot better. They're not the best like they were the first half of the season, but they're still good. But Jacksonville, what does Jacksonville have? I mean, what can they do? I mean, all they have is just Miles Jack, and that's it. And I mean, is that even enough? That's not even enough to do anything. I mean,
it's not.
Jaguars are 30th in points against per game, and then they're 18th in points per game. I mean, the Vikings should roll all over them. But this is the NFL. So I'm putting 3 points on Jacksonville.
3 points on Jacksonville. I would not be surprised with all the crap that's happening with injuries on Jacksonville. Like, you think the Saints are damaged. Jacksonville's just as damaged right now. Just injuries everywhere with it. I would not be surprised if Miles Jack has been contacted, at least considered, to come back out of retirement and play for maybe just a game. Be like, we actually kind of could use you. Could you teach our people something?
He's coming.
Yeah.
I got him so he could teach them how to play. That's brilliant.
Yep. Max points on Miles Jack. Icehouse.
No, 11 points in Minnesota because it's hopeless.
11 points on poor hopeless Jackson. 11 points on Minnesota to beat the hopeless Jacksonville Commish.
Yeah, 7 points Minnesota. Miles Jack doesn't play offense where they're injured.
Yeah. Yes. That's very true.
Hey, Miles Jack, you play wide receiver? We're down Christian Kirk and Brian Thomas. No, I don't know how to catch a ball. That's why I was a linebacker.
Wait, but he played.
Running back and linebacker.
He was.
But he wasn't a wide receiver and linebacker. So yeah, he doesn't know how to catch the ball.
Yeah, that was back in college before his injury.
There's a reason why he played linebacker as a pro and flared out. He couldn't even play linebacker that well.
Yeah. That's what gets me is everybody thought the Bucs were counted out when they lost Godwin and Evans, and they're still able to keep games close.
Yeah.
Because coaches can, they'll do their thing. Hey, we don't got our wide receivers. We'll find other ways. But we'll see what the Jaguars do.
See what they can do. Yeah. We've got me. I've got the Chargers. Oh, God. Chargers hosting the Tennessee Titans. Chargers look good, but they don't cover spreads. They're like Kansas City. I'm going to put 3 points on the Titans. Icehouse.
Leave my stick alone here. 5 points on Tennessee, though.
5 points on Tennessee. 5 points on stick. Commish.
Chargers have been the right pick at least the last 2 weeks in a row, as I glance quickly here, as they were 7.5-point favorites over New Orleans and blew them out 26-8. They were 2-point favorites over Cleveland, and they blew them out 27-10. In fact, the Chargers have given up the least amount of points the entire year defensively. I got 2 points on the Chargers.
I'm switching over there.
They've only given up 101 points.
God damn it. Yes, the Chargers.
I'm switching to the Chargers. I'm switching to the Chargers. Every time I do this, though, they have a thing. Are you switching to the Chargers, Icehouse?
Yeah, I went 5 on the Chargers. And, it's 5, so I'm not going to feel bad.
Yeah.
I put my high confidence picks where I put my high confidence. So
hey, I can't trust Tennessee to score points, and the Chargers don't give up points.
Yeah, their defense is just going to win the game.
Yeah, I agree.
The Chargers woke up in the bye week. All of a sudden, I think Harbaugh was just like, "Oh, I have a pass-throwing quarterback. Maybe I could use him." Skinnnns, we all went Chargers. Chance to be a contrarian with the Will Levis experience.
Yeah, I'll keep it at what I got. It's the Mason Rudolph experience, and it will be the Tennessee Titans losing by a score of 14-10. So I got 2 on the I got 2 on the Titans.
Got 2 on the reindeer. Okay. Icehouse, you've got Philadelphia getting hosted by Jerry Jones.
Give me. Oh my God! Let's see. I gotta go. Man. Okay, 6 on Philly.
6 on Philly. All right. Commish?
I got 4 points on Philly. Cooper Rush I don't think he's got it.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Skinnnns, how about them girls?
Yeah, my only one left is a 1. So this will change later in the week. But yeah, I love watching Dallas be a dumpster fire this year. This is just getting great. They're losing. I think they've lost every game at home. They're going to lose another one at home, which is going to be even better. Granted, it comes at the cost of a Philly win. but that almost makes me want to have Dallas win it. But at any rate, Philly for one. Fuck it.
Philly for one. I will be on the Philly side as well, but Philly for the 5. I have to say, occasionally I get some Reels updates and whatnot with TikToks and Instagrams or whatever's with it there. And it seems to be recently it's a lot of Dallas fans punching their TVs with a giant Dallas Star logo on there. Seems like I catch those quite a bit for some reason. Maybe it's just happening a lot. Commish, you get hosting the New York Jets. Arizona hosting the New York Jets.
Well, it's the tightest spread. It's almost a pick 'em at 1 point. I got 14 on the Jets.
14 max points on the Jets. Holy cow. Skinnnns. There we go there.
I got there. Give me the Jets for 5.
The Jets for 5. Yeah. I only have a 1 and a 13 left. I guess I'm doing 1 on the New York Jets, even though I'm switching. I'm putting my 1 with the Chargers and I'm putting my 3 with the Jets because I have that much more confidence. Icehouse, chance to be contrarian.
Yeah, I got 9 on the Jets.
9 on the Jets. We all go Jets for this one. Last one back up to Skinnnns. You've got the mighty Detroit Lions going to Houston.
Detroit's gonna whomp them. Houston's not getting Nico Collins back. Detroit they do not let off the gas.
What's the news on Nico?
As far as I know, he's still got at least another week from what I heard.
That's what they said last week, though.
Yeah, I know. I could be wrong.
Thanks, Turkish. But some of those sausages while you're at it. Jackass.
That's great.
Just another week. Come on.
Yeah, that's a great reference.
Either way, I still don't think. I mean, even if they had Nico Collins, I think Detroit. I mean, Houston sucks against the run, so they're not doing any. I like Detroit. I got 13 on Detroit. If I don't have my max on the Commanders, my max is on Detroit this week.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm also putting a 13 on Detroit. I saved my 13 specifically for Detroit just because they remind me in every way of Baltimore, where it's just like, wow, who is going to stop this team? The team just looks fun to watch. So I hope I'm able to catch this one here because usually Detroit games show in Cleveland. Icehouse.
I got 13 on Detroit.
Oh my gosh, I all got 13 on Detroit, and then Commish, chance to go against 3 13s on Detroit.
I got 10 points on Detroit. I just don't see them letting off and slowing down in Houston. Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, like how do you beat Detroit? In all seriousness, like everything they're doing seems to be good.
You need Kansas City to play them, so I think we all know what's happening in February.
Yeah, either Detroit versus Kansas City or Detroit versus Baltimore. That's a good guess. Honestly, that is. Hey, make sure you hit save your picks. All right. I think that'll do it for the weeks with this here. So do you like what you hear? Did you survive the first 18 seconds of this podcast? Well, if you did, like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comments in the comments below, and we will see you around on the next one. See you later. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, I forgot around the horn. Icehouse, 23 points. Skinnnns, 42 points. Commish in the lead, 45 points. Groady with a broken PC.
Good job, Commish.
There you go. Way to go, man. All right. We'll see you around the next one. Bye.